What's going on, YouTube world? Chris with General's Comics and Pop Culture. I'm doing a video today that I really never wanted to have to do. I've contemplated doing it for the last couple months now, and I was just on YouTube today and saw a couple videos and said, I'm just gonna do it, screw it. So this message is to everyone watching, young, old, man, woman, black, white, whatever ethnicity, religion, political affiliation, anybody that enjoys comics, movies, pop culture, and anything related. So let me start off by saying this really goes back for me to once the Star Wars The Last Jedi came out. I have my issues with that film, and I did a video speaking on those issues. And I was kind of obsessed at that time. I felt so unfulfilled from the movie. I was on YouTube watching a lot of videos. And while I was doing this, I found a lot of YouTubers directing their hatred for this movie towards basically the term SJWs. And during this time, I also found so much YouTube content regarding mostly Marvel Comics about SJWs. Social Justice Warrior, for those that don't know. Now, to me, that term, I don't even know what that means. I know what people say it means, but I don't even know what it means. So what I started coming across is all these videos, and these videos are getting thousands and thousands of views and hundreds and thousands of comments, and it's just like this thing that is like blowing up. SJW Marvel ruins Daredevil or Iron Man, and SJW Disney and feminazis. Kathleen Kennedy is ruining Star Wars and all this stuff. Now, before I go into this, let me just say, guys, my channel and what I do on YouTube and who I am as a person, my political beliefs and religious beliefs or whatever it may be has nothing to do with my content on this channel, with really who I am as a person in this YouTube community and how I feel about all you guys and all my subscribers and everybody watching. I don't care who you are or who you voted for or what your belief system is. If you watch my videos and we have something in common, whether it's comic books or Star Wars or movies, I have love for you. We are human beings on YouTube trying to escape a world that is ugly at times, to find something in common. And all I'm seeing now is that thing that we have in common being torn apart. We already have that so much in our day-to-day lives, especially in this country, in the United States, where between the last two presidents and what's been going on is tearing us apart. And like I said, it doesn't matter who I vote for. Honestly, I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I don't buy into that crap. I support someone based on who they are, who I feel they are in here, on the content of their character, not what box they check at the polls or what D or R comes at the end of their name on a news feed. I don't care about all that. And I do that the same with human beings. It's like, if you're a human being, I guarantee you I have something in common. And that's what I want to do by having this YouTube channel. But all of this SJW stuff, this is what I found. I found YouTubers that I've been subscribed to. One of the first YouTubers that I subscribed to when I started doing my channel and started getting into the comic book stuff, I'm not going to say his name. That's not the point of this video. I had to unsubscribe from him because his MO for the last however many months is SJW. And it's regardless of your belief system, it's ignorant. And to me, it's at a point where it's basically an obsession with a lot of these people. You know, where they pick out books or they pick out movies And they find stuff, they insinuate it. There's no proof. And believe me, I studied law and business. Show me the proof in the pudding. I don't base my beliefs on one political side or not. If there's some proof in there, I'm not going to like it. And I said in a video about Star Wars, Star Wars The Last Jedi, to me, was not ruined by feminazis and some political agenda. It was ruined because, to me, it was badly written and poorly executed. All that other stuff, there's no proof. So, and I've seen good guys who I feel are good guys, good YouTubers, that grew from having like 1,000 subscribers to 20,000 subscribers in a month's time. And I go through their videos. Every single video has SJW in it. And hey, I guess if you're just in it for, clicks and views, it's working for you. But it saddens me that so many viewers and so many people in this community and out in this world are coming to YouTube to feed off of this divide and off of this hatred. And it's on both sides, guys. Don't get me wrong. There are people who consider themselves liberal in conservatives or progressive or Republicans or whatever it may be. And we're all ignorant to our boxes. We're fitting ourselves into boxes and buying into the propaganda. And I see that on social media so much. And I'm not just talking about YouTube. I'm talking about when I go to Facebook and I'm going through my social media feed. We're like being, like in movies where they like clamp your eyes open and they feed you this screen and you're being like brainwashed. It's like, that's what Facebook is. We're scrolling and our eyes are wide open. And we're seeing stuff that's like memes and blogger sites that look like real news sites. And we see it and we process it in without even questioning it as fact. We don't know how to look for sources or back up and fact check our sources anymore. And we believe it. And for those that lean one certain way politically or maybe even religiously, if they read something that seems to benefit their belief system, they believe it. And that's on both sides. There is liberal propaganda and there is conservative propaganda. There is white propaganda. There is black propaganda. And it is fooling the masses. And it's seeping over into comic books. Now, I do want to say in comic book movies and pop culture like Star Wars, I want to say one thing, though, about politics in comics. For those of you mad at the whole SJWs, like I said, I think the people mad at certain agendas are the ones that even created this term SJW. Politics and social awareness have been in comic books since day one. It is nothing new. I just think things are happening in comic books that you don't like and you're mad about it. Captain America was all about social propaganda, in a sense, a social movement of Nazis and Hitlerism, Nazism. That's what Cap was created for and stood for. In the late 40s, Superman came out in a comic book talking about what it is to be all-American. And he said people of all religions. He even said Muslims. Way back then, he was talking about Muslims. I wish I had the website right now to show you on a laptop or something where he made a comment saying we are all American and it is American to treat everyone equally and with respect. That's what America's about. That was in a comic book in like the late 40s or early 50s. I forgot on the top of my head exactly what year. During the Cold War in Vietnam, these social and political struggles were heavily in comic books. Look at and then what Stan Lee and Marvel did with Black Panther in 1966. What he did with the symbolism of Magneto and Professor X as civil rights leaders like Malcolm and Martin. It was always there. But now it's, prevalent in a different way where we may see more females as leads, and they may not be stereotypical comic book drawn where they have big boobs and skimpy clothes on. So now we have female superheroes that are badass, but they have little boobs and no frame, and they're in uniforms that look like the men's uniforms where they don't show skin. Oh, but that's the problem. Oh, it's SJWs taking over. I mean, come on, for real? Seriously, man. Having diversity in comics is nothing new. Stan Lee and Marvel Comics stood for this 50 plus years ago. Obviously, you know, I think the scope of things change quicker these days. That's everywhere. That's evolution right now in terms of technology and advancements, and everything kind of moves quicker. We see more homosexual, gay, transgender in our comic books. And I can even sit and say some things may not be for you. I get that. And for me, like for my kids, I don't want my kids having to be young little kids and having to be exposed to any kind of sexual type of relationship, whether it's a man or woman, or a woman and woman, or a man or man. I think there's a time and place for that. I don't think anything should be over sexualized, but to have a character in a comic book that's dealing with, like, say, coming out of the closet because he's gay, and we live in a world that still does not accept it, and people get beat and murdered because of it, because of their beliefs, or bullied, or whatever it is, and you have this comic book character that's struggling with that. Oh, the SJWs. I'm sorry, that's a part of life. It really is. As much as you may not like it, it's a part of life, and comic books reflect reality to an extent, right? All fiction, good fiction is good when it takes a core reflection of what reality is. So, you don't like it? Don't buy it. Don't read it. Don't support it. Don't go buy it and then complain about it, even though we all have the right to voice our opinions and be critics. That's fine. But like I said, it crushes me to the core that it's so popular and it's this huge obsession. Let's go back to Star Wars for a minute. I said in my Star Wars video how the women characters in this movie did not ruin the movie. There was no feminazi, SJW agenda or anything. What there were characters that just flat out sucked. It didn't matter if they were women or not. Holdo had really no place in that movie. Her character could have been a man and that character would have sucked. DJ had no place in that movie. And Benicio del Toro is a great actor, and I felt his character had no place. And then there's the ones that say, oh, well, all the men were like freaking talked down to and were nothing, and it was all about women power and all this stuff. And, well, you know, Finn did like defeat the top freaking stormtrooper Phasma in 2 minutes, but yet the women were the badasses. How does a man that's a stormtrooper that isn't really even, I think, very powerful defeat someone like Phasma in 2 seconds? So, you know, we twist these things into how we want to see them. What's interesting about that too, and you know, the Canto Bight scene, which I hated, had nothing to do with the movie. Oh, it's all the people there were white men, and it was about how white men are horrible and all this stuff. This is nothing, regardless of if you think that's what it was. Go read the Mara Jade limited series that came out, I believe, in the late 90s. There is a scene almost exactly like the Canto Bight scene where she goes into a casino and there's some aliens and the rest of them are like white men gambling. And they're like arms dealers and stuff. They're part of this militant group. It's nothing new. It's nothing new. And we're just fishing right now to find out things that we hate because there are people out there that feel threatened. Their manhood is threatened, or their perception of what they see when they look in the mirror is threatened. I don't know, guys. If I'm speaking to you, if you're one of these that are hopping on this SJW bandwagon, I want to tell you, I don't hate you. I'm not trying to be condescending. I'm not trying to be narcissistic. I'm not trying to act like I'm better than you. I'm just trying to say it is depressing and it hurts my soul that we have come to this as a community that's supposed to be something that allows us to come together. I've always said that comic books and pop culture are in a sense like sports. And whether you're like sports or you're a jock or you hate sports, sports is an example of where people that come, I mean, look at baseball. You have a lot of Latin American players and Japanese players. You got blacks and whites and people that come from the country, the countries, places in the U.S., people that come from the hood, you know, and they come together on a team and they fight for each other and they play for each other. And their political points of views and where they come from and their religion, it doesn't matter. What do? They find a common element and they become family off of that common element. And they go on that field and they fight for each other. Imagine if sports teams allowed their political beliefs or their fears or their ethical concepts get in the way of what it is they love. Even as fans, even sports fans, you put on like, you know, if you're, I'm not a Cleveland fan, I just rock it because I like the color. But, you know, you put on the same jersey, the same team gear, and you go out and you become family. It should be the same thing with those that enjoy comic books and pop culture and superheroes and Star Wars. We're not supposed to be fighting over this crap. We're not supposed to be judging what we see because gender is involved. I mean, are we really afraid? In 2018, are we really afraid of strong, confident, successful women? Or black folks or Hispanic folks? For real. Guys, we are better than this. This nation was not built on divisiveness. It was built on oneness, on unity, on the backs of the tired. Everyone that came here almost, besides even the first colonialists that came here, whether what they did some things wrong and horrific, they fought one of the most powerful nations in the world at the time because of oppressive factors that they wanted to get rid of. And black folks being stolen, coming over here as slaves, had to fight through that. The Irish had to fight through what they had to fight through. The Sicilians and the Italians, which my grandparents came over through, having to fight prejudiceness and racism. The Chinese that worked at slave conditions, and the Japanese that were thrown in camps during World War II just because of the color of their skin and the nationality, no matter if they were part of the military or if they were born in this country and were proud Americans. That is not what we're about. We're not about tearing people apart. And I don't care if you dislike Trump or think Trump is a disgusting human being. I don't care if you dislike Obama. We are human beings and we bleed the same blood. And we all want the same things out of life. At the core, strip it all away. What do we want? Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. And what we should want for ourselves, we should want for our neighbors, right? No matter what they look at or look like, or no matter what church they go to or who they voted for at the polls. It doesn't matter. Now you tell me how comic books and Star Wars and pop culture is hurting you so much that we are obsessing over it this bad. And we're attacking each other. I read the comments. The comments are sickening. We're attacking each other. And are your children watching? Is this how we're raising our children? Really? When I go to a comic book store and I'm flipping through the bins, I see little kids having that same wide-eyed look that I did when I was a kid going to a comic book store. I see their parents bringing them there. I see old guys digging, still searching the hobby that they enjoyed 40 years ago. I see women, men, boyfriends and girlfriends digging through the bins together. Black, white, brown. And we're all searching for the same thing. We all love the same thing. Gay, straight, shaved head, long hair, piercings, tattoos, or just coming in a suit and tie from, church. And when we're there, we are all the same. And it should be the same thing for this community. We need to stop attacking each other over something so innocent as comic books and superheroes and what's going on in a galaxy far, far away. When can we escape anymore from the ugliness that already surrounds us and engulfs our lives? That's my question. So I'm going to end it on this note, because I can go on forever. You may be watching this, you may not like what I'm saying, you may want to unsubscribe from me. That's fine. I don't want you to. You may not subscribe from me. You might give me a thumbs down. I don't want that. I have nothing but love for you. If that's where your mind's at. I just want everyone, when they stop watching this video, to sit and think for a minute. And look in the mirror. Tell yourselves, is what you're doing right? If you have kids, is this how I want to be active for my kids? Is this what I want to create for my children? Let's enjoy what we love and let's allow ourselves to escape. We are all beautiful people, no matter how flawed we are, or like I said, who we pray to or who we vote for. Even the ugliest of people I try to pray for. And I'm not even religious. We got to find the good in all of us instead of beating us down until all we are is the ugly that we ourselves hate. Because we keep doing this, we're going to turn in to that in which we hate. So I really appreciate you guys for watching. Like I said, it hurts my heart that I got to come on my comic and pop culture channel and get into this type of stuff. But I hope at the end it's not a negative thing. I hope it's a positive thing. And I hope we all can learn and grow from it. I want us all to be free to express ourselves, whether sometimes it's negative or sometimes it's positive. But at the end of the day, we gotta understand that we can't just keep pointing the finger. We got to focus on the good, and we got to focus on the good that does exist inside of all of us. Find that common bond and stick with that. All right, guys. Hey, leave some feedbacks. Be kind to each other. I really don't want to see no negative crap and bullying in my comments, because I got love for you all, and I want all you to love each other too. Thank you guys for watching. Till next time.